Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to try to mount up our trunk lid and then get our wings centered up and try to get it bolted up today. Afterwards, we'll try to go out to my Explorer and see if we can at least get it to jump off today with the pickup truck, because I forgot to bring a battery up here to do that with. So let's start with this. I know I have a shim around here that's supposed to be on there, and it's missing. And I could have swore that I left it with the car right here. So I'm wondering if I left it on the old trunk lid. There we go. There's the little shim piece I need right on this side. That should help balance the trunk lid out. Because right now this side is sitting really low and binding everything up. For some reason, this side wants to sit higher. Stretch that spring as I was trying to pull the trunk lid off. Let's try to press the wrench. We'll take that off. My hillbilly speed wrench. I'll take this spring off and replace it with the one that was on the original trunk lid. Because when I went to go pull this trunk lid off, this spring got caught down in here and stretched it. So I'm hoping that putting the spring from the old trunk lid onto it will make it where the trunk closes properly now. Alright. So now, that's pretty smooth. It sits up just a little high, but not terrible, because that sits low. So what I'm going to do is take this other shim. I'm going to take this other shim that I have that came off of the old trunk lid. I'm going to put it on this side here just to bump it up just a little bit more. Where is it? Oh, there it is, right there. No wonder I can't find it. Alright, let's try this again. Maybe this will be the final time. Then we can start doing some measuring and drilling the holes for this wing. Then we'll probably have to run to the hardware store and get some screws for it. That's better. That's a lot better. Still feel like it's raised up a little bit on this side though. But not by much, just a little bit off. latch in and it holds it down, it'll actually be more flat. So, to figure out how to do that is need to pull. When I bought this, the car I bought it off was still locked at the junkyard. So, it didn't have a key for it, so I had to take the lock off. And when I did that, now I have no locking apparatus. So, we're going to pull the lock off of my old trunk lid and get it mounted up. There we go. How do I get that lock off of there? Alright, that came off pretty easy. Probably should have done this when they were both side by side. Now you gotta be upside down for this. Go. There should be my automatic lock there. So let's make sure it actually clicks like it's supposed to. It's not going to unless I have everything hooked up. There we go. Now let's test it. All right, so now get that last bolt put in there. Yeah, I really should have done this when it was off the car. I think it made it a lot easier for me. But all right, now I should be able to shut this. All right. Now the question is, how do I get that lock out of there? Let's see if this leads to anything. All right, sorry guys, the camera died without me knowing about it. Last you guys saw, I was trying to pull the cylinder lock out of this, but I couldn't do it because I don't have a drill bit set up here to be able to drill out the rivet here. So I pulled the panel off of this one. Darn crows going overhead. Pulled the panel off of this one so I could get to the lock cylinder on this one, so that whenever I bring a drill set up here in a couple of days, I can drill the rivet out of this one and put it into that one, hopefully. I wasn't thinking ahead whenever I did that, and I didn't know that it was riveted in there. So, but we will get back to doing the wing now, since we can't finish doing the lock setup. And the reason why I was trying to put the lock on there so that if the battery ever goes dead on this and I need to get to the trunk, I can use the key to open it up instead of having to crawl through the back and take out the 3 bolts that hold the lock, or the locking mechanism in, so that I'm not stuck with having to lay across all the trunk with an 8mm and a ratchet undoing it. So let's get to this side of it. Let's get to mount this. So I'm gonna need to take measure and go from there. See, tape measure and a Sharpie. So the question is, if I go far enough forward, I lose the gap underneath the wing, or underneath the base. But, is it looking goofy though? Where I've only got roughly 3 or 4 inches up here, and I've got over 6 inches back here. So I would prefer to not have to do body work on it, but it just doesn't look right. So I think I'm gonna have to scoot this back to be approximately there. I'm thinking. And I'm just gonna have to fill in, get some type of Bondo or filler and fill this gap underneath here. But then I'm gonna have to smooth it out so that it doesn't look like it's intentionally there. Now granted, yes, it is intentionally there to make it, but try to make it look somewhat professional, or at least as professional as I can make it, being my first time doing something like this. So this could be the fun part, is I gotta figure out how to do forward and back, measuring off the same point, making it all square this way and this way, trying to make sure I'm not cockeyed at an angled anyway. Let's see if we can find the center of the trunk lid. There's center of the trunk lid. Let's see what this is. Center. So that should be dead center. So take this and kind of eyeball. That should be about center. Now, I should be able to measure 5.5. Not quite 5.5. So bump it that way just a little. Just below 5.5. Just below 5.5. So, cool. And that line is just about spot on. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to so I'm just marking it so that if that happens, I can kind of go get it. Kind of back in somewhat place. I know this ain't perfect, it ain't 100% accurate. Now, front and back. That should be all squared up all the way around. So what I'm going to do is take my Sharpie and I'm going to do an outline of it so I know exactly where it goes each and every time. Alright, I'll show you guys real quickly what I think I got squared up. You can tell me what you think about it. Alright, so there we go. I think that looks pretty good. I think that, I'm sure there's body guys out there that are cringing right now, but I think I did pretty good just getting it lined up. Like I said, I know there's going to be some type of gap right here. I think if I get me a real thin layer of Bondo, I can make it where it's flat and then also shave it a little along the way. Now, let's take this off and we got to figure out the holes, how to get the holes drilled into it. And make sure that it makes it where they're perfectly lined up where they're supposed to be at. I think I got it. I'm gonna get a drill and some step bits because it's actually all I have up here right now. And just knock some holes real quick. Hopefully these holes are accessible whenever I pop the lid. Because I didn't think about that until just now. But I've got a cutoff wheel, we can make it accessible. Maybe I can possibly do it. And while we're at it, we're going to put the other trunk strut on because it is not happy with one. There we go. Much better. Alright, so first hole is covered up. Second hole I can see, but I can't get to. I'll show you guys real quickly what I'm talking about. And the second hole is right behind this curve. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is get the air compressor fired up, take my cutoff wheel and zip it right through here. Probably on both sides. Let's see here, yep, because there's the other one right there. So if I zip it right through this section and zip it right through there, that should give me access to the bottom one. Now that top one, I might be able to take my my step bit, I might be able to punch a hole wherever it's supposed to be at. Actually, it's right there. So I may just cut a little square here to give me access there too. So I'm going to pause the camera for a few minutes so that the air compressor can charge up and you guys don't have to hear that. I'll just make myself suffer for now. I lied to you guys. I don't have my cutoff wheel up here. So instead, I'm gonna have to use this cutoff disc with my grinder and cut that out instead. My air compressor power cutoff wheel is sitting at home right now. So next best thing I guess is this. Okay. Rotation that way. It wants to spin this way. Make sure I put it on the right way so I don't hurt myself or it. Hopefully this will do what I'm hoping it do what I am hoping it will. Some safety glasses and some hearing protection because it's going to be loud and it's going to be painful. Well, it's just going to be loud. And I just knocked that over. Some eye protection, some hearing protection, and see what happens, I guess. I really could have broke out the plastic cutter. I don't need to be blowing holes, but there we go. And I'll get to that. I'm just going to cut that off. And then remember to bring my little Dremel tool and I'll round those edges off and fix my boot over there. That's a heck of a, oops. Put my glasses back on. Alright. It's not the prettiest. Maybe this other side I can do better. I hope I can do better. Now why is that one so much lower than this side? I see. Okay. Alright guys, you guys probably wondering what I'm doing now since the camera shut off. Again, I got my 4 holes cut out here, and as I was putting the wing on, I dropped one of the screws I have down into this corner. And of course, it's a stainless steel screw, so I can't get it out without taking the trunk lid back off. So that's what I'm in the process of doing, and kicking myself in the butt every time. I was this close to being done and showing you guys, but no, fate had to have other things in mind. I also noticed when I was putting the wing on and I dropped that bolt, as you can hear in there, there it is, that my holes are not quite large enough, so I'm going to step them up one bit size once I get this rebolted back onto the car. Ugh. I'm glad that came out easy because I was afraid it was going to fight me tooth and nail. No. No. Alright. That bolt. Come on, start. Round 2. Ow. Alright, now we got that done again. Get those back on, get this brand back down here. There we go. Now, we got that going. I'm going to drill these bolts out to the next side up. let's get that wing mounted on there. And there's one. Ah, there's the other one. Let's get that wing mounted back on there. Need 2 hands here. Well, I need 2 more hands here. One to hold the wing and while I put the screws in. Maybe next time I can have somebody come up and assist me. Well, moment of truth. She's on there with 2 screws. As you guys can see, there's still a little bit of a gap there. I'm wondering if I can maybe just use some rubber, some thicker rubber, or some weather stripping type material. But I'm afraid with weather stripping it may retain moisture, and I don't want that to rot the trunk lid out. But yeah, you can see I'm pretty close to my marks there on both sides. And then let me reopen the trunk real quickly, and I will show you. It looks like my screws are off just by a hair on the front. So I have a feeling that I need to grab, or whenever I come back up here next time, I need to bring my Dremel tool. And see right there, that hole is off center. And then if you look over here, this hole is off center pretty good too. So if I bring my Dremel, I can route this over, slot it just a little, will be good. I'll take that Dremel and clean up all these edges because I don't need to get myself cut on that, and neither does anybody else. Cut this down, trim it up, round everything off. Fix my oopsie there. Same thing with this. Cut this corner off and round these corners out, make them where they're smoother. Take that little extra off there. Same with here. Trim this all up. But yeah, I think that's a good stopping point for today. One more walk around the car for you guys to see what I have done. You know, it's hard to see the interior last time, but not much to it. Corbo racing seats, Corbo 5-point harness, roll cage. Pulled the carpet out of it because it was rotting a little bit because it'd been sitting outside for a while. Pillar gauges down, the A pillar. Some point in time I'll get a racing seat. And then of course just the plain old stock 5.0 AC delete, smog pump control delete, BBK long tube headers, coilover suspension. Yeah, so everybody have a good day or evening or good morning whenever you guys watch this video, and I hope you stay with me and go along with the adventure that I'm gonna have. All right, bye.